Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. Do you know, we're not going to do an intro, folks. We're not going to do an intro. Look, you could sit there and say same old. Initial after the game, I was very angry, very, very angry for obvious reasons. However, you calm down. You know, the match gets going like that. Manchester United will beat more teams than they lose against this season. I'm absolutely certain of that. I think there was a lot of positives in the game. Andy, big up to Andy. Andy says there was a lot of positives. Definitely some problems, midfield and goalkeeper. Did like Sesko coming on and winning the balls. We definitely will finish above 15th. Thought the defence was awesome. This guy, man. Big up, Kev. Big up, Kev, for letting me use his studio today. It was fantastic. I think Manchester United, and I'm going to say it now, have improved. I'm going to say they improved. I think the problem Manchester United had was they were set up the wrong way. I think Ruben Amorim set us up with that 3, like I said all week he would. And it is always going to be ineffective against an Arsenal team who are famed for their defence. That defence today, when they saw the lineup and saw it was going to be Cunha, Bryan, and Mount, I think you look at people like Saliba, you look at people like Gabriel, and they're going to say, that's our dinner. That's our dinner. Being there is not the answer in goal. I think we can all agree on that. I want to have a proper look into why Onana was dropped today, because they're saying about training. I'm just seeing the goal back now. It's an appalling goal. I think this is maybe Amorim's last stand. And I don't mean about being sacked. I mean last stand before the transfer window ends. I think he has turned around to the ownership today and he's gone, that's what I've got to deal with. That is what I've got to deal with. Arsenal knew what they were doing second half. Last 20 minutes, the substitutions they brought on were there to shut up shop. And unfortunately, Manchester United left it far too long to bring Sesko on to try and unlock that gate. It was simple. Do I think that Manchester United today could have played any better? Well, it's obvious we lost. There's always things you could do better. But when I look at the back 3 of Manchester United today, I don't think they were troubled too much. I thought Luke Shaw was very good. Yoro was great. And I thought De Ligt was very, very good. The midfield, however, I'm going to say it now. Casemiro and Bruno are not the answer to Manchester United's midfield. Manchester United, after that performance today, should either go to Brighton and say, look, what do we need to pay? Or they say, we move that aside and we go and get Hjulmand. I think Hjulmand in that midfield today for 2 reasons. A, his defensive work, being able to cut out the lines and then bring that ball out and make the passes. And the second thing is aerial ability. I think too many times in the first half, that ball was being played long over the top and it was coming back because no one could win it. Dead ball situations. Until we had Harry Maguire and Sesko in there, I looked at it, I thought, where are we going to win the ball here? United have the potential to line up with a very, very big side. But it's the first game of the season, folks. I don't want anyone panicking. Let's go through some of the comments first. So Kev says, yeah, I know. I'll go through yours in a second, Kev. Says he picked the worst keeper of the 3 shit ones we have. Parv says, Binder is a prat. This could be our game. This could have been our game. He can't even make a simple save. Chappie says Amorim's tactics are poor. I don't think he's up to the job. Second half, I don't think they were, Chappie. I thought we were a lot better second half. Just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And of course, we weren't troubled. Arsenal is piss poor. And LB says, you're effing dog shite, mate. I wish we could play Wolves every week, LB. I wish we could play Wolves every week, who have just been absolutely bereft of all of their team. Warbzo says, Amorim shocker aside, Cunha is such a good player. Cunha was incredible today. Cunha, with someone to play in front of him that he can work alongside, I think we're going to have a different season. I genuinely do. Amorim ball is much better. Why bring Ugarte? Right, straight away, chap. I'm going to go back through your comments in a second. What I will say is this. Ugarte has to go. Ugarte, the time is done. He come on the pitch. He epitomised it by picking the ball up, turning and playing in the Arsenal team. Okay, he epitomised what you don't do in that scenario. Stupid decisions on fouls, stupid decisions going forward. The only thing we can trust with Ugarte is a couple of sideways passing. At this point in time, we are carrying a player. We are carrying a player. It's too late to get him out of the team. We know that won't happen. We know it's too late to do that. But Ugarte, Absolutely terrifies me. And more to the point, why Mainu wasn't brought on is abysmal. Where's Kobe? There we go, as Wahaha said. Look, miles better than Ugarte. Rob says Luke Shaw was poor. I don't know what game you were watching there, Rob. I thought Luke Shaw was very good today. What did Bruno do, Dan? Andy, do you know something? First half, I'd agree with that. Second half, I thought he got on the ball a bit more, and I thought he was a lot more effective. There was that ball he played through the middle to Brian. Was it Brian or was it Cunha? I thought that's what he needs to do. He's gonna have to be a deep lying playmaker. He's gonna have to be a deep lying playmaker. We can easily push the panic buttons. We can easily say, "Oh, that's it, same old United." I think against other teams, this is going to be a different story. I genuinely do. Ugarte also was a reason for a loss of midfield needed. Yeah, I agree. And Dorgu did nothing apart from hitting the post. I thought Dorgu was all right today. I actually thought Dorgu played all right today. I thought attacking, he was getting into positions and dragging people. Dorgu was dragging Ben White all over the place. Wahaha. He was. Bruno is not in the position he should be in, and I actually missed him out. Do you know something? I have to hold the L there because I said we should have started with Dallo, and Dallo was absolute pish today. Absolute pish. I just want to go back to this here. Where's the comment from LB? I don't see where you're coming from now. I watched Brentford get absolutely dominated today. I watched Wolves get dominated against you guys. Manchester United didn't get dominated. So when I see this comment, it riles me a little bit because we are not dog shite. There are changes. There are improvements. Manchester United will have a better season this season. That showed me that today. That showed me there was a group of players there that want to improve. I just don't understand where that's coming from. My man of the match for Manchester United, I would have to give it to, I'd probably give it Cunha, I thought Cunha was class. I thought Cunha looked dangerous every time he got on the ball. I think the two things we take away from this, guys, is the changes in positions. We need a centre-back, we need a goalkeeper, and we need a central midfielder. I want to just, whilst I'm with you all, get onto X a second. And I want to just bring up the Onana news. Let me just bring this up a second. Onana. So Fabrizio Romano tweeted, Onana has been dropped. No injury has been confirmed. He's not injured. He's recovered. But the other players did well during pre-season. So I have to find a balance. That I can't take. That I can't take from Ruben Amorim. Because I think we can all agree in pre-season, a 39-year-old goalkeeper called Tom Heaton has looked streets and levels above being there. I won't take that from the manager. We can sit here and I will give him his flowers because I think they are starting to look a bit better in this formation. But I absolutely cannot take from the manager of Manchester United that he feels like the players the goalkeeper that played today is better. Being there is an absolute liability. Let's go through the goal. Ball comes in, being there doesn't have a thought in his mind to just do what other goalkeepers would do, which is just clear house. Clear house. Instead, what's he do? He flaps at it, gets knocked a little bit, and his first reaction, instead of going, lads, apologies, is to run at the referee and go, I've been fouled. I've been fouled. Absolutely abysmal. Being there might be the worst second-choice goalkeeper I have ever seen in the Premier League, and I've seen some stinkers. Mark says, I thought United were a far better team there today. A bad goalkeeping error cost us. Cunha and Mbeumo were brilliant. Again, I want you to focus on this. I really want you to focus on this. Brian and Cunha will hit the ground running with Manchester United. They both had opportunities today, and I think they both looked sharp. And actually, I thought they looked very, very good in the formation, especially in the attacking sense. I think these two are going to absolutely do bits for us this season. We can't sit here and push the self-destruct button and say the season's over before it's begun when we've just lost to Arsenal 1-0. We can't do that. I've seen us play far worse and get better results. So I'm not going to have that. Andy says we went behind and we carried on and didn't give up. That was a massive positive. And I'll go back to this, Andy. I go back to the mentality of the team. How many times last season would we concede a goal like that and then the heads we'd lose our heads and it'd be 2-0, then 3-0. There was a different attitude in that Manchester United side today. And I am not going to sit here and say, that's it, I'm out. Amorim's got to go. I'm absolutely not. I still think we're going to get that midfielder in. I still think we're going to get a goalkeeper in. And here's the thing. Think about it this way. If we don't go and get a Belaber and we spend the money that we were going to spend on Hjulmand, that gives us the money to go out there and get us a decent goalkeeper. I say go out there and honestly, I say go out there and get Emi Martinez. I say go out there, get Emi Martinez, someone who is an absolute rascal, someone who will push, someone who will get in the heads of the opposition players. Wahaha says he was playing Heaton for every game until Fiorentina. I say it makes sense if it's for him, it's for getting him ready for Arsenal, but no, put this dead fish in goal. Yeah, honestly, I just and Rob. Do you know something? I appreciate Rob. He's my best mate. Love him to death. He's an Arsenal fan. But you know that's a lie. You know that's absolutely a lie. An absolute lie. My other criticism today would be the timing of the substitutions and the substitutions themselves. At half-time, if I'm Amorim, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I'm using Mount as the sacrificial lamb. I'm getting him off and putting Sesko up top. And I'm getting Casemiro off and I'm putting Maino in there. Those were the subs he should have made at half-time. And Andy, I think this is an absolutely fantastic point. As I said at the start of the video, I think this was Ruben Amorim turning around to that ownership and going, Project 150. Project 150 with that goalkeeper, the one I haven't even picked, and that midfield. You tell me how we get Project 150, because I'm hearing so many people say, get rid of Amorim, bring in another manager, play 4-3-3. 4-3-3 with that midfield wouldn't do 4-3-3. There's no way anybody linked with in that midfield could do the 4-3-3. Who would you pick? What would you do? Would you go Ugarte, Mainu, and Bruno, or would you go Casemiro, Mainu, and Bruno? Either way, you are going to have a weak link in each variation of that. You're going to either have Ugarte or you're going to have Casemiro. I just honestly, I don't think we sit here and panic. I genuinely don't. Blary says Ruben should have played Sesko from the start. Mason Mount was shite. Mason Mount was full of running, and that's great. But I remember another midfielder for United who everyone said, but he runs about a lot. His name was Fred, who was then coined into the McFred situation. So I feel like these comments about, Mason Mount got about and he did this, he did that, it's not good enough. Now, and actually, let's deep it even more. Manchester United have got far more problems coming out to the end of the season, to the middle of the season, because Mbeumo will be gone and Diallo will be gone. United need to make sure they've got a bloody good first 11 to get as many points as they can on the board. The squad, luckily we're not in Europe, so we're not going to need to utilise the squad as much. Luke says my Northampton team lost yesterday, sadly. Very, very happy. No poor. Sorry to hear that, bud. Was Maguire sub good? I thought Maguire was Maguire. It was. I think the Maguire sub was more to probably protect Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is, as we know, a knock away from being out for 6 months. The thing is, I don't think we utilised Maguire enough. I don't think we got the ball up there enough to have the situations with the dead ball, but that's just me. Big up that. Yeah, big up Shane. Big up. Thank God for our defence. Shane, from an Arsenal perspective, I want to know what questions you have about Arsenal, and Rob as well. Do you look at that performance and go, we're going to be saying this season? Like, was that a performance that you look at and go, we are going to bridge the gap between us and City and Liverpool? I don't think it was. But again, it's first game of the season, so anything can happen. Adam says, when Ahmad come on, he took Mbeumo out of the game. I'm not so sure about Adam. I thought Brian was still involved in the game. I think Brian had to change it tactically a little bit. The thing is, you've got to look at it this way. Before Diallo come onto the pitch, Dallo wasn't seeing much of the ball because Dallo wasn't offering anything. So Brian was picking that ball up and doing as much as he could with it. He was taking players on. He was bringing players back into it. Now, in the second half when we see Diallo come on, Diallo running at defenders, that allows Brian to push forward a bit. So you've got to remember as well, Brian and Diallo need to work out a way of playing together. They do. That will come with time, though. That will come with time. Barry says we would finish like 10th max. We need to work on the midfield. I agree. The midfield and the goalkeeper, that was the problems today. No, the three problems: midfield, goalkeeper, and I think the team he selected at the start. Those were the major problems for Manchester United today. Take them three out of it. Put yourself a decent goalkeeper in there. Put yourself a midfielder in there. And I think this Manchester United side looks a lot different. Now, Manchester United, as I have said to you all several times, and I will keep saying this, with respect to Shane, with respect to Rob, Manchester United don't need to concentrate on the Arsenals, on the Liverpools, on the Cities, on the Chelseas. We don't need to concentrate. They are in their own journey. Manchester United's main problem here, main focus, should I say, is about pushing themselves as far back up that table as they can after an abysmal season last season. I saw enough today to say that I think they can do that. I really did. What else? Let me go through some of this chat. Arteta out is my answer, says Shane. Brought Norgard and he can't even make the bench. That was a crazy one, that was. Why bring this lad in? Did you think our midfield three played well together? I thought they were okay, Rob. I didn't come away from that game thinking they've got Zubamendi, they're going to win everything. Rice is the best in that midfield three, hands down. Cunha and Brian were brilliant. Dorgo amazing. I completely agree with that. Andy says Arsenal have a great defence. Not sure about going forward, to be honest. Here's the conversation, and Albert kind of touched on it a little bit before we left. If I'm Gyokeres, I'm going in that changing room today and I'm saying to Saka and I'm saying to Martinelli, do you remember all that news through the summer that you lot wanted to sign me? Do you remember? You remember that? Yeah, they were tweeting about it. Do you remember? It was all over the news, Sky Sports News, everywhere. Yeah, Fabrizio, he loved it. Yeah, do you know why you signed me? To score goals. So here's a thing, Saka. Here's a thing, Martinelli. Give me the ball so I can do that. I thought he was exposed today. And the problem is, if they play like that more and more and they don't feed this lad, the questions will be asked of his ability. The questions will be asked, is he the man to score the goals? They've got to find a way to utilise him. This isn't an Arsenal fan channel, but you know I'll always have a chat about football. Martinelli, Havertz, Madueke, Odegaard all need to be sold. Absolute scrubs. I don't remember Martinelli touching the ball in the second half. Havertz is just, he's terrible. Adam says, Armenia's as he was always cutting inside. Right, okay. I hear you now, Adam. I see what you're saying. I take that point. We were seeing, Brian. I see that. I take the point. I do. Neil says, get B in there out before Fulham. It's the lesser of two evils, isn't it? It's the lesser of two evils. It's like being asked the question, would you like to know when you died or how you died? You wouldn't know how to answer it. And it's the same as, would you like to play B in there or Anana? Either way, you don't win, do you? Every solution to that question, you lose. I don't know when I want to die. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you how you're going to die. Well, I don't want to know. Tough. That's the way it goes. I don't want to know how I'm going to die. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you when you're going to die. Well, I don't want to know. There we go. You lose again. And it's the same with Binder, and it's the same with Anana. I don't want to play Binder. It's okay. We'll play Anana, but I don't want to do that. Tough. It's the 17th of August, lads. It's the 17th of August. Manchester United have had all summer. They have known all summer that Anana wasn't good enough, that Binder wasn't good enough. So why are we on the first game of the season having to choose between these two bums? How? For all of the great stuff that they've done, for all of the fantastic work they've done behind the scenes, Barada and Wilcox and Vivell, this needs addressing now like pronto. Because at the moment, this is like that leak in the roof, and you look and you go, do you know what? I'll pop a nice little pan under there. It'll drop and drop and drop, and then what I'll do is I'll change it every couple of hours. But then what happens is that drip in the roof becomes a hole in the roof, and the little pot doesn't cover it anymore. It becomes a big tub, and then you have to get a bath size there, and before you know it, the whole house is ruined. It's the same with Manchester United. At the moment, we've got the two leaks, the midfield and the goalkeeper. Until we sort them out, they're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and create more problems. And whereas the problem at the moment is losing the first game of the season, by the end of the season, it could be the difference between us getting European football and being in obscurity again. And it is as simple as that. Let me go through some of these comments. Warbs, and by the way, like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I completely forgot to say that at the start. We are growing. I think we're on 1,100. Are we on 1,130 or whatever? I'm not sure, but make sure you subscribe. It might be on 1,000 for it. Regardless, that's not important. What is important is make sure you subscribe to the channel and help us grow. This problem of only being able to score perfect goals is exhausting. It feels the same under Amorim. Unless the stars align, we just don't score. Whatever happened to a player picking the ball up like from 30 yards and just wellying it? I saw Dorgo have a pop today, hit the post. Blowery says, I noticed that Luke Shaw was decent today. What do you think? Luke Shaw, I would give him, if I was giving him a player rating, I'd give him a 7 out of 10. I think he was really good. I think he was really, really good. Considering he's not a left-sided centre-back and he's still adapting, I was happy with his performance. Havertz out, says Rob. There we go. Conceded the title on day one. Who has? What, United? United were never near the title. Come on now. Why is an Arsenal fan moaning they won, says Neil. I wanted Arteta gone so badly. Absolutely sick of this boring Stoke football. Rice is gassed. Odegaard is shite. Stay connected, says, just seen the replay. How is that not a penalty on Cunha? Saliba goes into the back of him. Well, we know, and you know something, right? I do not want to hear that little weasel, Mike Dean, go, it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. It's not a. I don't want to hear that weasel speaking about football. This guy, in his career as a football referee, was famed for wanting to be the star of the show. He retired, and then guess what? Sky gave him a job where he could continue being star of the show. I will say this about that challenge. If that's anywhere else on the field, that's a free kick. Ridiculous. Zuberman, yeah, of course Zuberman needs time to adjust. I just don't think he was very good today. And Odegaard is genuinely Burnley level, says Shane. Can't believe we're not going for Eze. Zubermendi and Odegaard, too similar. He shouldn't play them together. There's plenty of people going in on that today, to be fair. A lot of people not happy with Odegaard. Enjoyable game to watch. We lost to a mistake we know needs fixing. Cunha was awesome. Brian hungry. Dorgu, the shot off the post. There are a lot of positives. Guys, there are a lot of positives to this game today. There are. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. We didn't put the striker on for 35 minutes. I sit here and I genuinely don't feel concerned for the season because Manchester United's season is different to how other big teams are. We're not going for Champions League. European football is the absolute minimum. I don't care how we get it. I don't care when we get it. But European football is our task this season. So forget about Liverpool and all that lot. Forget about Arsenal. Andy says, it's only the first game. Gyokeres, as I told you, Dan, he's not a good fit for Arsenal. I disagree, Andy. I just don't think he was fed. I think he was starved up top. I genuinely do. Heaton didn't start because he's too old, Neil. I honestly, I hear you. I hear you. And on the back of it, you'd say, well, would he have done any worse? Sesko looked more comfortable. Then Gyokeres looked more natural. I thought what I loved about Sesko was he was actually up there fighting for the ball. You know, you're not going to play the likes of Gabriel and Saliba each week. You're not. They are very good defenders. Arsenal, to their credit, have two stunning centre-backs who have formed a partnership that you look at and go, wow, they're Premier League winning-esque players, them two. The way they play, they should have won a Premier League by now. Sesko will have more joy. And again, I want to say this: if people dare come for Sesko today on this channel, please don't bother coming back on again. First game, I thought he did okay. Mark says every man and his dog knew the goalkeeper position would cost us again this season. It'll only get worse if it's not sorted. Mark, honestly, couldn't agree more. Get my man. Yes. Listen to Kev, guys. Make sure we're hitting the likes and hitting the subs. We are definitely climbing, and it is all because of the hard work that the mods do, that the OGs do. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. Adam says, with Villa struggling with PSR, would you go for Kamara? Villa. So here's my problem with people like with going to people like Villa. I don't know if my friend Nick's watching this. Got a bunch of little shits running about. Hang on 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. No, the problem with Villa is this. The problem with Villa know already how much we were willing to spend on Baleba. They know how much. So if we were to go anywhere near them for a player, you know that the cost is going to be through the roof. It's going to be through the roof. So I wouldn't be dealing with Villa. I would be looking at Hjulmand. Hjulmand's got a release clause. Go in there, pay the money. He knows the system. He's played for the manager, and I think he would adapt to the Premier League. Go and do it. Nishvan says, liked as always, and so many positives to take from this game. I couldn't agree more. I absolutely couldn't agree more. I think there was a lot more positive. Thanks, Keane, for giving us nothing today. Least Richards and Sturridge found positives. Neil, I think with Keno, you got to remember at the very bottom of it, he's a United fan, isn't he? And he hurts when United lose. So I think there is emotion there with Keno. If we had Sesko from the beginning, we'd have won it. I think it'd have been a different game. I do agree. Heaton is 39. We was the far better team, says Carl. I agree with that, Carl. Felt for Sesko. Didn't see enough of the ball. We didn't really play to Sesko's strengths at the end there, did we, when he come on? Didn't really play to it. The lit was so good today. And Billy says 100% agree about great performance. Just need to get that keeper we're crying out for and the midfielder, and this will change our season. I agree. Andy says, what I was impressed with was Brian and Cunha running defenders. This comment right here, we have been starved of this. We have been starved of two players willing to run at the defenders and try and make things happen. I was buzzing to watch them play today. Neil says, yeah, there is also Anana. Yeah, exactly that. I actually didn't think we needed Baleba. We need Donnarumma and Hjulmand. We're not getting Donnarumma. And happy with the performance, says Mustafa. Just execution, final third, quality will come. I agree. There's a lot more United fans that are a bit more positive in this, and that's what I like to see. Guys, there is no 9 o'clock show tonight, by the way. I am sunburnt to hell. So I'm going to have to go get some after sun on. Manchester United lost 1-0. All I will end it on is this. Don't give up on us yet. Don't give up on us, baby. Don't give up on us. It is a long old season. Fulham next. Oh, actually, announcement. For the Fulham game, I will be doing a watch-along round at Kev's house, and Kev will be part of the watch-along. We are looking forward to bringing, hopefully, 3 points back in that watch-along. But I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Don't give up, guys. Keep smiling. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. But you know what? There's hope. Dan United. Oota!